The Fed is creating a bubble in asset prices across many, many different things. I mean, just look at what's going on in Bitcoin. Look at there was a secondary priced by MicroStrategies, I think, and the sole purpose of that secondary was to buy cryptocurrencies. I mean, if that's not a sign of excesses, nothing else is. So I think the Fed has created bubbles across all asset prices. I'm not suggesting we're in a housing bubble, but we're damn close, I think, Melvs.
Hey guys, Christian here, coming to you with another episode of Tea with KP. That was Guy Adami from CNBC's Fast Money coming to you with his prediction on, are we in a housing bubble? Hell yeah, in fact, we're in an everything bubble right now. I mean, what the fuck is going on? This is an crazy market and we're looking at some historic levels when it comes to prices, what the Fed's doing, the stock market. It's absolutely insane out there. So I wanted to take a couple minutes and just go through what's going on in this market, when we can expect the bubble to pop. Should you sell your real estate? Should you look at the stock market, Bitcoin? It's absolutely insane. So let's dive right into the stock market and what's going on there. If you haven't heard about it, there's a website, actually a Reddit site called Wall Street Bets, and they've been really pumping up Gamestop. Yeah, that's right, Gamestop, the retailer that sells video games. In fact, my kids go there all the time to look for the next best PlayStation game or Nintendo Switch. So the stock has gone from $20 a share to over $200 a share today. And it's only been a couple of days since the market's moved that much. If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It does wonders for the YouTube algorithm, and it lets me know that I'm doing a good job too. As you know, the stock market keeps hitting higher highs and there's no lows in sight. In fact, the Fed has basically said, we're going to back everything now to infinity. What we see is that the Fed is keeping interest rates artificially low, so anybody can borrow as much money as they possibly want at just about 0% interest. There's these SPACs, which is a special purpose asset company that's coming into play and taking all of these companies public that shouldn't necessarily be public. We're talking companies like Open Door, a home flipping business. Basically, Open Door buys houses, fixes them up, and sells them. And they're not very good at it. They make money on some of them, but on a lot of them, they lose money. And their valuation now is billions of dollars for a home flipping business. I've been doing this for 20 years and I can tell you it's a hard business to do locally in your local market, like in San Diego. But when you try to roll something out like this nationally, it is a nightmare. Local markets are all different, as we all know, and the market in San Francisco is going to be completely different than the market in Dallas, Texas. So, is it a good business? It could be. Is it worth billions and billions of dollars? Absolutely freaking not. According to one of my favorite investors of all time, Ray Dalio, we should be in a deflationary cycle right now. Deleveraging should be happening. Companies should be getting rid of their debt.
Do you think that we're headed into a global depression?
Yes, but I want to be careful about what I use the word, like to be
Right,
technical.
absolutely.
The word is an evocative word,
Sure.
and it can be scary and so on. So what do you mean by a depression? Okay. Something like happened in the 1930s. So just to repeat, 1929 to 1932, there was a fall in the economy and a very double-digit unemployment rates and a magnitude of fall in the economy like about 10%. Do I think we're in that? Yes. How was that dealt with? 1933. What they did is they printed a lot of money. And the government came out with the same type of programs that we're having now. Yes, okay, same thing. Zero interest rates hit zero. Same thing. Okay, same dynamics. And then there is that money causes an expansion from that point. How long does it take for the stock market to exceed its highs? Or how long does it take for the economy to exceed its former highs? A long time. Okay, do I think that's what we're in? Yes, that's what we're in. We've seen that happen repeatedly in history. So many, many times. It's just the most recent one. And there's a structure to that. So yes, this is not a recession. This is a breakdown, an operation that I'm just describing in terms of how it's dealt with, the production of money and credit, and all of that. That's what we're in.
It was just a couple months ago when Ray Dalio was on a TED Talk and basically said that we're going to be in a Great Depression. The world GDP may go down $20 trillion. Well, that hasn't happened, and there's definitely no chance of that happening anytime soon because we are going through stimulus after stimulus after stimulus. In fact, the next one coming up is the COVID relief program, which is $1.9 trillion worth of new money being put into the system. And then after that, we're going to have an infrastructure bill, which is probably going to be another $2+ trillion of stimulus. So the money keeps flowing into the system faster than people can spend it. It's a inflationary market, as I'm sure you're well aware. When I go to In-N-Out Burger right now, a double has gone up in price by over $1. This is a really inflationary market, but nobody seems to be talking about it whatsoever. And I really want to know what your opinion is on this matter. Are you seeing prices go up as much as I am? I'm sure you are. Food is insane right now, and also got a huge food problem. People line up for miles and miles at food banks in order to get food. There's families that are going hungry. This is a crisis that we're in, but asset bubbles in real estate, in the stock market, in gold, in Bitcoin continue to shoot through the roof. Something has got to give, but with all the stimulus flowing into the market, it's not going to give anytime soon. In fact, I can see this inflating for a much longer time to come. This reminds me a lot of 2005, and the market went up significantly in 2005, and what we saw was that housing bubble popped it, and really everything came down in 2008 with the great financial crisis. So in 2005, everybody was getting liar loans, right? There was ninja loans, no income, no job, no assets, no nothing. You could go out there and buy a house. And what happened? Obviously, the defaults piled up and the mortgage market just basically collapsed. Well, right now in the corporate bond market, corporations are issuing bonds faster than they can snap. And the Fed is buying them up at record volumes. What we're seeing is that corporations that aren't making a profit, that are losing billions of dollars, are issuing corporate debt and selling it to the Fed. So if you can go out there and write a bond for $1 billion at 0.1% interest and sell it to the Fed and get that money to pay your bills or to refinance other loans, you're going to go out there and do that right now. We've got over 20% of the corporations, it seems like, in the US, based on some prognosticators, saying that they are zombie companies, which means their revenues are not covering their debt loads. Companies can go on as zombies for a really long time. A lot of Japanese companies are still operating even though they were basically insolvent back in the 80s. So what we're going to see, as long as the Fed continues this practice, is that companies are going to continue to issue bonds. They're going to sell them to whoever's going to be buying them, which is typically the federal government. They're going to take that money and use it to pay old debt, and that money's going to pile up on the Fed's balance sheet. Is there a problem with that? At some point, there probably will be. Oh, that leads me back. Are we in a bubble? Yes, a huge bubble. But when is the bubble going to burst? Usually people will say, yeah, we're in a housing bubble, or we're in a stock bubble, or we're in a gold bubble, or a commodity bubble. But what they'll never do is tell you when it's going to pop. In fact, anybody who tries to is basically feeding you some bullshit. They don't know when the stock market's going to go down. They don't know when the housing market's going to go down, or for that rate, Bitcoin's going to go down as well. What I'm seeing on the real estate side of things is that the suburbs are going to continue to thrive. We're going to have people moving away from the big cities into much larger homes in the suburbs for some time to come. In fact, for the next 2 to 3 years, I can see this trend accelerating. So if you've got a house in the suburbs, hold on to it. In fact, buy another one if you can, because these prices are skyrocketing. We saw the national home prices go up more last year than in any time in history of the Case-Shiller Index. They were up almost 15 to 20% in most markets where I am in California. A lot of the markets kept it down, like Los Angeles and San Francisco, but San Diego, Santa Barbara, other auxiliary suburbs are seeing tremendous price increases. And in this inflationary market, you want to have hard assets. You don't want to have your money in cash. You want to own something that's going to go up in value. So what's up for the foreseeable future? We have bubbles all around us, but they continue to inflate. And how long can they go on? For a long time. We will probably start to see cracks before everything starts to come crumbling down, but we do have a Fed that is very accommodating with 0% interest right now, and we have interest rates, especially in the real estate market and the bond market, at all-time lows, so debt's going to continue to flow. I see another 2 to 3 years of this going on. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know if you'd like to collaborate. Talk about whatever your specialty is. Do you see bubbles in the asset market? If so, when do you think they're going to pop? Let's figure it out together. As always, thanks for spending time with me. If you found some useful information, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified whenever I release new videos just like this one.